Rayman turns 30 this year. 30. That's 3 decades since Rayman launched on the Atari, Jaguar, and somehow became one of the strangest, most creative platformers of the 90s. And here's the weird part. Rayman should be huge. He should be standing next to gaming's biggest mascots. Instead, he's kind of a guest star in his own franchise. So let's talk about what happened, and why Rayman at 30 feels less like a celebration and more like a reminder of what Ubisoft forgot. Part 1. The original risk. The first Rayman wasn't safe. It was weird, it was hard, it had no limbs, it had surreal enemies and backgrounds that looked like they were pulled out of a fever dream. And it worked. It didn't copy Mario, it didn't copy Sonic, it didn't try to be edgy, it had its own identity. That's rare, especially in the mid-90s when mascot platformers were flooding the market. Rayman felt deliberate, designed, personal. Part 2. Rayman 2, The Evolution. Then came Rayman 2, The Great Escape. And this is where Rayman could have become unstoppable. Instead of playing it safe, Ubisoft evolved the series into 3D. But not in a rushed, confused way. Rayman 2 had an atmosphere, it had a tone, it had world building, it felt like someone cared about where this character was going. For a moment, Rayman wasn't just a mascot, he was a universe. Part 3, The Drift. And then something shifted. We got Rayman 3, Hoodlum Havoc. Fun, but lighter, more comedic, less focused. Then we got the rabbits. And suddenly Rayman wasn't the star anymore. He became a launching pad for party games. Now the rabbits worked commercially. I'm not denying that, but creatively, Rayman lost his center. He stopped being Ubisoft's main character. He became a side project. Part 4, the comeback that wasn't. 10 years later, Ubisoft brought him back with Rayman Origins, and it was fantastic. Hand-drawn animation, tight platforming, personality everywhere. Then came Rayman Legends, also fantastic. And that should have been the rebirth. That should have been the moment Rayman became a pillar franchise again. Instead, silence. No major new entry, no big evolution, no long-term commitment, just occasional cameos and anniversary treats. Part 5. Why this matters. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Rayman isn't dead because he failed. He's dormant because Ubisoft changed priorities. Modern Ubisoft focuses on scale, open worlds, live service models, massive franchises designed for long-term monetization. Rayman doesn't fit that mold. He's focused, he's creative, he's handcrafted, and in today's AAA environment, that almost feels inconvenient. Part 6. The 30th anniversary question. So now he's 30, and depending on what Ubisoft does for the anniversary, you have to ask, is this a celebration or is it a reminder? Because if all we get is a small collection, a social media post, and some merchandise, that says something. It says Rayman is legacy content, not future content, and that's wild, because creatively, he still has more potential than half of Ubisoft's active franchises. Conclusion. Rayman at 30 should feel triumphant. Instead it feels uncertain. Not because the character failed, but because the company moved on. Rayman deserved to grow. He deserved to evolve. He deserved long-term belief. And if this anniversary proves anything, it's that sometimes the most creative characters don't disappear, they just get sidelined. And that might be worse.